It's so wonderful to be here with you. First thing is to come away from the back of your chair. Get your hips higher. If you feel that you keep rolling out of neutral, you want to rotate your top two bones over your bottom pubic bone, and then ribs relax down and back. Reach your arms out to the sides, and nice and slowly we'll go up. Palm faces the floor with the right arm, and then the left arm. And just at your own pace, some dynamic side bends. Start to tune into your breath, gently breathing into the sides of your rib cage. As we go through class, and this goes for all of the classes, especially if you do a movement that's very new to you, you want to go slowly into it. If you're unable to go slowly into a movement, then it's often a sign that your body doesn't have the range of motion or the strength yet, and those kind of go together to move into the motion. And if we go into movements that are new to us too quickly, that's when we can put our bodies in danger. So you just want to take your time anytime you're doing something new. Keep that in mind. The purpose is not to be able to do the move. The purpose is to be able to do moves well. Take your time. All right, from here, let's open our arms out to the side, really tilting the pelvis upright, ribs relax down. If the head tends to come forward, ears back over the shoulders, and then turning from the belly button to the right and to the left. So it might not be a very big turn. You're just really feeling your waist muscles, relaxing your lower belly and tuning into your breath. As you go side to side here, just being aware of your waist muscles. How about setting a purpose for your practice, planting a seed for yourself? What do you want to see grow in your life? And it can be anything. You might have automatically have something come to your mind. If not, there might be a certain part of your body that you know you need to bring some healing to, or something to do with any of your habits that you want to work on to create a deeper well-being in your life. Plant a seed for yourself. No pressure at all to get results. It's more just about focusing on these daily consistent little practices we do. So plant a seed of well-being for yourself. All right, let's switch it up. So bring your hands behind your head. You can just lightly let your fingertips rest. Pelvis upright, ribs relax down. That plays an important part in all the core motions. Just draw your ears back into your hands gently, and then we'll side bend to the right and to the left. Breathing, feeling your body. All right, pause, pelvis upright, ribs relax down, start to turn the belly button to the right and to the left. And always give your body a rest, always, always, always. Endurance will build quickly. If your arms get tired, if your legs get tired, it's better to give your body a rest and then come back and do the move more frequently instead of pushing your way through. We tend to think that pushing our way through is what's going to make us stronger, but it actually just starts to turn on your stress hormones, which is going in the opposite direction, at least that I'm trying to go. I'm trying to move in a way and encourage my body to regenerate cells at a healthy rate. And if your exercise starts to stress your body out, it's just like anything else. Your cells are unable to regenerate at a healthy rate. Okay, from there, let's switch. Let's bring our arms down to our hands down to our shoulders. If this is not comfortable, then you can keep your hands behind your head. And let's side bend here, from side to side. Sitting upright in the pelvis, front ribs relax down and back. Always check, can my pelvis go up a little more? Can my ribs sink down a little more? Some of you have been doing this with me for years, but even after a decade of doing this, sometimes I still find, oh, my pelvis can go up more. My ribs can drop down and back a little bit more. Good. pause here, elbows out to the side, and let's turn from the belly button. Side to side at your own pace. Feel the waist turn. Breathing. Really turn from the belly button, more than the shoulders, more than the neck. Excellent. Come back to center, extend your arms out, bring your hands down, and let's spin around for our first lunge. Just spin around to your right, slide your foot back. We're going to do a few lunges today. I often recommend that if possible, you can tuck your toes under, do tuck your toes under, but sometimes if you always tuck your toes under, it's nice to be on the top of the foot, so your choice. And then from here, with your outside arm, turn your elbow pit, the soft front part of your elbow, and the palm of your hand to face forward. And then you'll just pull your arm straight back. Notice if the arm bone wants to rotate, try to keep that elbow pit forward and relax it forward. Pull back, relax. Doesn't matter how far back it goes. Try to keep the front ribs relaxed down and ears sliding back over the shoulders. And just a backwards arm swing, tuning into your breath. Few more like that. All right, and then slide that back leg forward, spin around to the other side, sliding your knee back right underneath your hip, top of the foot or toes tucked under. By the way, you can always be doing this with shoes on. That's perfectly all right. Elbow pit and palm forward, and pull back and relax forward. If you are going to do it with bare feet, just make sure you're doing it in a safe area where there's nothing that you could accidentally step on in the area. Ribs relax down in front, so try not to lift your rib cage up. Breathing, pull back, relax forward, keeping the elbow pit and the palm facing forward. But sometimes the palm can be forward and the elbow can still kind of pop out to the side. So check in every once in a while. Because what you're doing is by putting your elbow put forward, you're putting the musculature that's supposed to be on the back of your arm on the back of your arm. When the elbow turns out, which is very common, then the muscular that's on the back of the arm is no longer in that plane of motion anymore. And muscles really only work in the plane of motion where they are designed to work. Breathing or motions or, planes of motion, because there could be more than one. A few more like this. Pull back, relax forward. Pull back, relax forward. And then let that arm come forward, slide that leg forward, spin around, coming to the front edge of the chair. Walk your feet nice and wide. Turn the outer edges of your feet straight. Open your thighs up, pelvis upright, ribs relax down. Bring your right hand in front of you. Start with the palm flat and just pull the pinky finger back. Pinky finger only, and then tilt your wrist back. And we'll do that with each finger. You'll gently pull your ring finger back and then tilt your wrist back. And don't be in a rush. Go over to your middle finger. We tend to rush through these little muscles, but how important are your hands? How many things do they do for you throughout the day? So go slow. Give this attention and this time to your hands. And then turn the wrist back. And then over to the pointer finger. Pull just the finger back. And then bend the wrist back. And then the thumb, pull it down and back gently, and then bend the wrist back. All right, let's switch hands. Thighs are opening, they tend to cave in, open from the top of the thighs. Bring your left hand forward, pull just the pinky finger back, and then the wrist bends back. Over to the ring finger, just the ring finger, all the rest of the fingers nice and long. Then the wrist goes back. And then over to the middle finger, feel the stretch, and just the wrist goes back. And then the pointer finger pulls back and tilt back. And then the thumb pulls down and back and tilt back. and then release. Okay, your feet are pretty wide, your thighs are open. We're gonna walk in slow increments. So just walk your feet in a little bit, still pretty wide, but just not as wide as they were. Reach your arms in front of you. You're going to rotate your arm bones all the way one way, all the way the other way. Try to make the rotation happen from the upper arm bones. And as you rotate, you're gonna slowly rotate your way open out to the side. So you're just slowly rotating and feeling all these different ranges of motion. Go slow if you feel any cracking or popping, just till your arms are out to your side. Walk your feet in a little bit more. They're still a little bit wider than hip distance apart. Pelvis upright, ribs relaxed down, and then rotate your arm bones all the way one way. Hold. Feel that musculature, the way that musculature feels in your shoulders. Then rotate all the way the other way, like you're trying to turn your thumbs towards the floor and your elbows forward. Bring your arms in a tiny little bit, so forward, and rotate all the way one way and hold. Feel your shoulder blades get wide on your back. And rotate all the other way. And bring your arms a little closer. Rotate, hold, and rotate. And then one more, a little closer. Rotate all the way in one direction. Feel around the armpits, the chest muscles, the upper back muscles. Rotate all the way the other way and hold. All right, walk your feet into hip distance apart, our neutral, ankles right under the knees and knees in line with outer hips. Interlace your right pinky finger on the bottom, flip out inside out for just a moment. Get that nice even interlace, spread your thumbs. If your hands are up by your shoulders, drop them down a little bit. And then flip your hands back over, keep the interlace, and gently pull back, bending your left elbow as you gently pull back on your right hand. And then switch. Bend your right elbow as you pull back on your left hand and your wrist bends, but your arm stays straight. All right, release. Switch the crossing of your fingers. Put your left pinky finger on the bottom. Flip your hands inside out for a moment. Spread the thumbs out. Check the pelvis is upright. And then keep the interlace. Just flip your hands back over to face you and bend your left elbow as you pull back on your right wrist. And then switch. Pull back on your opposite wrist, breathing. All right, and then release from here for a while. And come up, and back, and come up. Slide that leg forward, spin around to the other side, slide your knee back. And forward, hinge back, and forward, and then slide that leg forward and spin back around to the front of the chair. All right, from here, stretch your legs nice and straight, heels down, toes up into the air. Turn your palms to face forward, open your arms a little wide, and then you'll lift your arms up into the air into a wide V. And bring your hands back down. Bring your hands next to your hips. Lift your arms up into the air about shoulder distance apart without the ribs coming up. Bring your hands down to the tops of your thighs. Bring your pinky fingers together without lifting the ribs up. Bring your arms up any amount and bring your hands down. Go back to wide out to your sides and pull back and relax forward. Come in next to your sides. Pull back and relax forward. And next time you pull back, hold, go very slow with this. Pelvis upright, ribs relaxed down. Can you hug your hands in closer to the chair? Try to tap the sides of the chair or bring your hands in a little closer without the ribs lifting up. And then relax your arms and bend your knees from here, and we'll cross our right ankle over our left knee, or you'll put the edge of your right foot on the block. So either one, ankle over the knee or foot on the block. If you're working with the block, you might not be able to do all the angle motions, but that's okay. Just take a little bit longer in your hip stretch and it'll be good for your body. Otherwise, if you've got your ankle crossed over your knee, let's point nice and slowly and flex the ankle. Point and flex, point and flex, point and flex. And then rotate your ankle a little so it's like you're pushing your inner arch towards the floor, and then your outer foot comes towards you. Rotate and rotate. Ankles are so important. In the next couple weeks, I'm taking training on ankles just to refresh myself, but they really are so important to whole body function, so we want to give them attention. All right, from there, how about spreading your toes out any amount? How about spreading your toes out and drop your chin down to your chest, and with your chin down to your chest, do a little turn of your head, no. How about keeping your chin center and doing a little nod of your head, yes, with your head dropping down. Just feel the gentle pull of the muscles from the base of your skull between your shoulder blades and your upper back. All right, and then from there, how about hinging forward from your hips any amount? Maybe work on spreading your toes again. Maybe point your big toe forward and pull your little toes back. Keep hinging over. Maybe go to your little toes forward and your big toe back, or the opposite that you were. And then come back up and uncross your ankle. You can put the block inside your right foot or cross your ankle over your knee. Once your ankle is over your knee, tilt your pelvis upright. You've got to cross more at the ankle so that you have the movement ability to point and flex. Go nice and slow. Been getting a little cracking lately in this right ankle. All right, and then a little bit of a twist. So it's like you're going from the inside of your foot going forward to the outside of your foot. All right, how about pause, flex, and find that center, so your neutral ankle, and spread all your toes open. Keep your toes spreading open, drop your chin down to your chest, and a little nod no of your head. Breathing. Bring your chin to center, a little nod yes. Very small. Just feel how the muscles connect. Good. And then rotate your pelvis, come into a forward fold. You can just hang out here. You can work on spreading your toes more. You can try to push your big toe back and your little toes forward. Gently, if your foot ever cramps, rub it out. If anything ever cramps, rub it out. It means something is like waking up. That's one of the reasons we want to go slowly. Switch, pull your little toes back and your big toe forward. Keep rotating forward from the pelvis. All right, and then bring your torso up and uncross. All right, let's walk our legs all the way together. And we're going to try to keep our pelvis as upright as possible. It's very common that as you lift one foot, your pelvis wants to rotate back. So you're trying to keep your pelvis upright as you lift and lower one leg at a time. And the more that your pelvis stays upright, you might feel some work in the front of the hips, but you'll put more work in your actual deeper core muscles the more your pelvis stays upright. If you feel a ton of work in the front of the hips, it's probably because you're leaning back ever so slightly and you don't realize it. So then that's a good clue to when you're working on neutral pelvis to sit up on something higher. All right, take your feet open to hip distance apart. Keep rotating the pelvis upright and lifting one foot at a time. Breathing. All right, walk your feet a little bit wider than hip distance apart. Pelvis upright and lift. And as you lift, your body wants to lean a little bit more to one side. You can try to counteract that a little bit, but you might start to feel more of your outer core musculature. Breathing, and a little lift is okay. Keep tilting the pelvis upright. Lots more work for the core the more you get the pelvis upright. And how about a tiny little bit more, especially if it was already challenging to lift your feet there. Don't open much wider, tilt your pelvis upright and lift and lower. Very little. Maybe you'll even notice one side's easier than the other to get the foot up off the floor. Breathing. All right, walk your feet back in, stretch your legs straight, heels down, toes up in the air, and then open your arms out, palms face forward. Wrap your right arm on top, hug it around, and open. Let's go switch arms. Left arm on top, elbows drop down a little, and open. Right arm on top, and open. Left arm on top, and open. Right arm on top. Feel that upper back get wide without hunching. Ribs are down, so you might hunch a little bit in that case. And open. Left arm on top. And open. Right arm on top. Hold. Walk the fingers around. Drop the elbows down. From here, relax your shoulders. Slowly turn and look over your right shoulder. Hold and nod your head a few times. Breathing. All right, bring your head back to center. Now slowly drop your left ear to your left shoulder and nod your head yes there a few times. Soften the face, relax the jaw. All right, slowly bring your head back up, open your arms out, cross your opposite arm on top, wiggle your fingers around, drop your elbows down, relax your shoulders, turn and look over your left shoulder, and slowly nod your head. Yes. Slowly bring your head back to center. Drop your right ear straight over to your right shoulder and then nod your head. Yes, there. Feeling into the jaw, the side of the neck. All right, bring your head up, open your arms out, bring your hands down. You can hold on to the seat of your chair. You can hold on to the back of the chair. You cannot hold on at all. When you hold on, you don't want to be gripping, so notice if you can. I don't know that we've done this before, but you're going to bend your left leg, put your ankle right on your knee. You're going to try to keep your pelvis upright, and you're going to lift a straight leg into the air without the pelvis rotating back. So a little bit of a longer level, a little bit more challenging in some ways than the bent knee. Breathing, and just little lifts off the floor. And then switch legs. Bend your right knee, extend your left leg long. Remember, keep working on the position of the pelvis. That's key. And lift and lower. Feel like of course, you're going to feel engagement on the top of your thigh, but you're flexing and reaching the back of the leg long. Breathing. All right. Bend that knee. If it wasn't happening today, no worries. Let's spin around to your left for a lunge. Slide the knee back right under the hip. Now you're going to tuck your back toes under to the best of your ability, and you're going to roll up onto your toes and push back through and try to get closer to the ball of your foot. Roll up onto the toes. Notice when I'm coming to the toes, my knee's still about right under my hip, maybe a little bit in front. So if you need to slide your knee back a little to start, roll back a little. Roll onto the toes a little. Roll back a little. Roll onto the toes a little. Roll back a little. Now keep that backward motion as you lean your body forward and straighten your leg any amount, and then come back and your knee bends to the ground. So the whole time you're keeping a neutral pelvis, your whole pelvis is turning. If we were to straighten the leg and keep our torso upright, we would then start to tilt our pelvis. So we're letting our torso go forward, and it's still work with a neutral pelvis, and then bend the knee down to the floor as we come back upright. Let's do that 2 more times. Hinge forward, straightening the leg any amount, and come back. And 1 more. Hinge forward, straightening the leg any amount, and come back. And then pull that leg forward, spin around to the other side, slide your knee back underneath your hip, ribs relax down, and first let's work the ankle a little bit. So you're rolling forward a little so you come more onto the tips of your toes and roll back to the ball of the foot, nice and gently. Roll forward a little and back a little. Roll forward a little and back a little. Of course, don't do this if it hurts. Roll forward a little and back a little. Now keep the heel pressing back gently. Lean forward as you straighten that leg any amount, and slowly come back up as the knee bends down to the floor. Hinge forward, straightening the leg, and slowly come back up, knee points down. Hinge forward, straightening the leg, and slowly come back. And 1 more. Hinge forward, straightening the leg, and slowly come back. Slide that leg forward, spin back around to the front of the chair, reach your hands back, hold onto the chair, pelvis upright, bend your elbows, hug them so they point straight back. With your heels right under your knees, we'll lift and lower our heels up off the floor. Watch those elbows popping out. Just point them straight back. Watch those ribs lifting up. Drop them down. Pelvis upright. Notice your heels. This is very important for when we stand. We're going to do these same heel raises. It's very common that the ankles twist out to the side, and I'm exaggerating it, but when I first started, that's how mine were. For a lot of people, it's very small. There's just this little twist. You want to try to lift and lower straight up and down, so your inner arches don't roll open towards the ceiling at all. And then you can try that again when we're standing. All right, from here, release your arms, tuck the top of your right foot under the chair, stretching the top of the foot, sitting back on the chair a little bit. Stay right here, that's fine, or rotate your pelvis and hinge forward a little bit, and come back up nice and slowly. Let's do that 1 more time on this side. Hinge forward from the pelvis, come forward, and come back up. All right, let's switch feet. Tuck the top of the left foot behind you and hinge forward a little bit, and come back up, and hinge forward a little bit, and come back up. All right, ankles hip distance apart. This is our neutral. This is what we want to practice the most first. So if you're new, maybe just stick with this and work with this. You want to try not to scoot your feet back, ankles forward. You want to come up with as little momentum as possible. Less momentum comes with time. The first thing is getting your feet straight, ankles hip distance apart. So if you're someone who still needs to use your hands, at least set up your legs. And then hinge forward, push into your hips. As soon as they come up off the chair, push your hips back and come up nice and slowly. And I practice that a lot, so it might not look as smooth at first. It takes time. Make sure you feel very confident that your chair is behind you, and as you sit back, it will be there. Feet straight, ankles hip distance. Watch those thighs. Keep them nice and open to hip distance, and slowly go down and try not to fall. And if you catch yourself falling to your chair, then practice this with pillows higher underneath your hips. All right, let's try some variation. Again, if you're new to this, I recommend just sticking with hip distance apart today and doing a few more of those. But we're going to vary it up. Coming to the edge of the chair, ankles walk forward. Walk your feet all the way together. And how about here? Pushing your hips forward, barely lifting your buttocks off the chair, pushing your hips back, and slowly coming up to stand. And then step your, actually let's keep your feet together, sit back, slowly go back down to the chair, and bring your torso up. All right, go open to hip distance apart. Walk a tiny bit wider than hip distance. Watch those thighs collapsing in. Hinge forward. Barely lift your hips up off the chair. Push them back. Slowly come up. I promise it will happen in time if you keep practicing. And sit your hips back and go nice and slow and don't fall to the chair. And slowly come up. Walk your feet a little bit wider. Inner thighs open, hinge forward, push into the entire sole of the foot or shoe, push your hips back to slowly come up, and then push your hips back and slowly go back down to the chair. All right, walk your feet back into hip distance apart. Last one, hinge forward, push into the foot. As soon as your hips come up, your knees might pop forward, so you're pushing your thigh bones back, yet using the front of your foot to come all the way up to stand, and then come around to the back of your chair. You can't bank your health, so consistency is most important. Bring your hands to the back of the chair as wide as they'll go. Walk back, 2 straight arms, 2 straight legs. You can't bank your health. Research shows that after about 2 weeks of not taking care of your body, moving, already big shifts happen. 2 weeks. It has to be consistent. And I can't tell you how many times I talk to people who were very consistent in practicing, whether with me or other teachers, and they said, man, yeah, I stopped months ago, and they start having all these issues creep up in their bodies. And you would think that, oh, well, I have moved my body for so many years, all this time, why all of a sudden would I have all these issues? And the reason is you can't bank your health. The body just doesn't work that way. It's not a model that you can store good behavior. You have to continue and be consistent. And I know that makes it challenging, but it also makes it beautiful in some ways. All right, from here, let's walk our feet forward a tiny bit and sit our hips back. Breathing here. Try to get a little bit more length through your arms, through your spine. Let your belly relax. Your tailbone goes up into the air a little bit. And then from there, press into your feet and come on up to stand. All right, we're going to grab whatever you're going to use for a calf stretch. I forgot to mention at the beginning of class that we're going to do a couple double calf stretches. So you'd either want a couple thin blocks next to each other, an extra rolled up mat, or you could roll up a couple towels and put a couple towels next to each other so you have a little bit more width. But first we're just doing single calf stretch. So put the ball of your right foot up, your heel down on the floor, outer edges of feet straight, ankles hip distance apart. You can step that outside foot forward a little bit if you don't feel like you lose balance. And then let's rotate the pelvis and push the thigh bones back gently and slowly come back up. You're not taking your shoulders below your hips. It's very common if you're a more mobile person, like I am, but more so the way I used to be, that when you go a little bit, you're like, I don't feel anything down the back of my legs. And let me tell you from my experience, this is not written in stone, but it's often those people who always need to go deeper and deeper to feel a stretch that are ending up getting a lot of surgeries, a lot of hip replacements, knee replacements, and thank goodness for that technology. Thank goodness we can get out of that pain. But you want to avoid it at all cases. And if you're the kind of person who does these kind of stretches and is like, I don't feel them, stay where you are. Maybe you can step that out foot forward a little more. We're going to stay upright for a moment. Then you need to actually do less. Because as soon as you start to fold forward, you are already stretching the back of your legs. And I'm telling you, when you work on alignment, over time, you will start to feel it. I can feel a stretch. It's not extreme, but I can feel a stretch down the back of my legs here when I'm barely leaning forward. I used to be a person that had to fold my torso to my thighs to be able to feel a stretch. I was headed down a path to very unstable joints, poor circulation. I still have a long way to go to fully probably correct everything I was doing to my body, but you want to do less sometimes if that's the kind of body you have. Put the ball of your foot up, heel down, outer edges of feet straight. Maybe you step your outside foot forward a little bit, and then these rotations. And it's hard for people, we're going to fold forward and come up, if you have a mobile body, because if you're like me, that's one of the reasons you were attracted to yoga. It made you feel really good, because finally it's like, I'm good at this. I'm really mobile. Look, some people can barely bend over and touch the floor, and I'm just going over. But we know now that excessive mobility, especially when you're out of alignment, is just as harmful as excessive tension. So we have to back ourselves up and be more careful with the way we're moving. And trust that if we do less but move more often, we'll really start to feel our body in a new way. Okay, you're going to come upright, you're going to stay upright, push down through that hip, maybe step the outside foot forward, find your belly button right between your two legs, and just stay for your calf stretch. Enjoy the wonderful calf stretch. All right, step off there, slide that to the side, outer edges of feet straight, ankles hip distance apart, push down through your outer right hip, tuck the top of the left foot behind you, top of the foot strap. Should your foot cramps, come out. Think about your balancing tools here. Should your hip go out to the side, hug it in, press down. If you ever need a refresher on balancing, I have a balance series that did I post the balance series? Oh, I'm not sure. Maybe I didn't post it yet. It's coming. I have a balance series will be eventually coming to YouTube, but it's not there yet. So sorry about that. But we review in class a lot. Hips grounded, weight back in the heels. All right, how about here with the top of the foot stretch, doing a little bit of a forward fold from the pelvis, not from the spine going down to the floor, from the pelvis and the standing leg thigh bone moving back. All right, and come up. And switch feet, outer edges of feet straight, ankles hip distance, push down, tuck the top of the foot behind you. Breathing here, weight back in the heels, outer hip pushing down. I still have to work a lot on my head ramping. I've always got my head lifted, so I'm trying to work on that. You might be working on feet straight, ankles hip distance, hip back over the heels. Elbow pits, where are your elbow pits? You see where my elbow pits when I stop paying attention, where they went to? All right, hinge forward from the hips, back the thigh bone up, the standing leg is straight. And slowly come up. All right, release that foot from the back of your chair, outer edges of feet straight, ankles hip distance, and we'll do those heel raises. Remember, try to take out the twist of the ankle. And after you get that really good, try to go straight up in the air more than pitching forward. Pitching forward makes it easier to get our heels up off the ground. When we go straight up in the air, it's like I'm trying to do it right now and I can't even get my heels up off the ground. It's much more challenging when you keep your body weight back over your legs. So see if you can feel that difference. Oh, and one thing, this is what I wanted to try today. One thing I've noticed is really good for building strength in a balanced way is do one leg at a time. So lift one heel up, the other heel is staying on the ground, lower down, lift the other heel straight up. Watching that ankle twist. Because it's a little bit easier not to use momentum to go forward, so sometimes you can feel the muscles in your calf a little bit more clearly when you do one at a time. All right, from there, we're going to do a double calf stretch. So what are you going to use? A rolled up mat, double blocks, double towels rolled up, your choice. Put the balls of both feet up, the heels down on the floor, ankles hip distance apart, and push your hips back. So back to what I was talking about earlier about you can't bank your health. So it's easiest for us to focus on, I have this going on in my body, I have this going on in my body, I have this going on in your body. But think of all the things you're preventing by moving regularly. Think of all the issues and ailments you know of and that the people you know have. We could very well have them if we weren't being consistent. And not to say that little things won't pop up here and there, but we could have way more things going on. Because naturally what happens to the body when you don't do things consistently is it doesn't regenerate and then issues come. So I like to think of it that way, as I am preventing so many things from happening in my body. And that's very inspiring to me, because the chances are really high, if you're not doing this consistently, that things are going to start breaking down. All right, come on up, whatever it is closer to the chair, just so it's out of the way, not in your way. And then with feet straight, ankles hip distance apart, we'll sit back into a chair squat and press up. Step your feet a little bit wider, outer edges of feet straight. When you sit back, try to go back with the buttocks, not forward with the knees. Hips sit back and press up. Walk your feet a little bit wider, outer edges of the feet straight. Sit back and press up. Walk your feet pretty wide. Sit your hips back and press up. Now with two wide straight legs, push your thigh bone back. Shift your hips from right to left, nice and slowly. Backing your weight up over your heels. Shift to right to left. It might be a very small motion. What's common if you don't have a lot of motion in your hips is that you'll move your torso side to side. So your torso stays stable, holding onto your chair, and it's just your hips that are going side to side. And if you have a lot of mobility, go a little bit slower. Maybe don't go all the way to the end range of motion every time, or if you are, go slower there. Okay, walk your feet in a step. Hips push back. Shift your hips side to side here. Breathing. This is another thing you can do. If you start with a lot of tension, you're feeling all of this. And so lucky you, it might not seem like that, but lucky you, if you're starting with less tension and you kind of can move very easily, this is the kind of thing you might want to do, is instead of taking your feet as wide as you can, bring your feet a little closer at first and shift your hips side to side. Okay, bring your feet in another step closer, not quite hip distance apart. Push your hips back and shift your hips side to side here. All right, bring your feet in hip distance apart. Shift your hips back and a little shift of your hips side to side here. Hips back over the heels. All right, from here, sit back into a chair pose. Step your right foot back into a lunge. You're coming just like we did in the seated lunge. You're coming up onto your toes a little bit and back to the ball of the foot. The heel's not coming to the ground. Up onto the toes a little bit and back to the ball of the foot. Now I just caught myself. Can you come up on your toes without your front leg going forward a lot? So try it. Heel comes down, you're on the ball of the foot, just a little bit. Up on the toes, down to the ball of the foot, up on the toes, down to the ball of the foot. From there, step that foot up. You're going to swing it straight through and put the heel down, the toes up in the air, and sit back. Breathing here. And come up and put that foot down. Sit back into a chair pose. Step your left foot back. Try to keep your front knee stable over your ankle. Lift high up on the toes. Back to the ball of the foot. Centering the foot. High up on the toes. Back to the ball of the foot. High up to the toes. Back on the ball of the foot. High up on the toes. Back to the ball of the foot. And then from here, you're going to push down through your leg, and maybe you can step it up and then step it forward, or swing it straight through, heel down, toes up in the air, and push your hips straight back. One leg is bending, one leg is straight. Breathing here. All right, push down, come on up. So sit back into a chair pose. Now you're going to do a wide lunge. So you're going to step your right leg back, but you're going to step it wide out to the right and take a moment there. Breathing. All right, that same foot steps up, but then as you sit back, you're stretching it out to the right a little bit. You're putting your heel down out to the right as you sit your hips back. From the front view, it looks like this. Your legs out to the side a little bit as you sit your hips back. It's not huge. It was straightforward before, just a little bit out to the side. And then slowly come up. Sit your hips back, step your left leg back, but step it back wide. So you're in a wider version of the lunge. Breathing. And then push into the heel off the ball of that foot. Sit back into a chair pose, lean onto your right leg, heel goes down, toes up in the air, a little bit out to the side, and push your hips straight back. Notice if your hips going out to the right, hug it in. Flex your ankle. And then press through that bent knee, step the foot in. Okay, right foot forward, left foot back, feet hip distance apart. You don't have, if your balance is off, a little bit is okay. One foot a little bit behind the other. Either way, your right foot forward, your left foot back, but the feet are straight. So the back foot's not massively turned out to the side. You're turning your hips forward. Hands by your side, elbows by your side, palms up. Open and close. Server arms. Breathing. Okay, now we take the stance wider. The right foot steps out to the right. The left foot steps out to the left. You've still got your right foot forward, your left foot back, but they're a wider than hip distance stance. Palms, elbow pits forward, wide out to the side. Lift up wide. Your hands are far away. Come back down with your hands. Bring your hands in next to your body. Lift up. Lower down. Bring your pinky fingers together without the ribs coming up. Lift the arms up. Lower down. All right, from there, you're going to walk your feet in like you're on a balance beam. So your right foot forward, your left foot back, they're in line with each other. If that's not happening yet, just try to get them closer than hip distance apart. Push down through your hips, hands out to the side, pull back, relax forward, hands are wide. Come down by your side, pull back, relax forward. One more by your side, pull back. Try to hug those pinky fingers in towards each other a little bit. And release your arms down. And then from here, step your right foot back out, your feet hip distance apart. Reach your left arm up into the air and side bend over. Balance should be less tricky when your feet are a little bit wider apart. Gives you a wider stance to work with. And then bring that arm down, both palms up to your side. Twist your belly to your right. Feel the waist turn, but keep the hips mostly square, facing forward. And then unwind your waist and rotate from the pelvis without dropping your shoulders too low. Watch if your hips tend to turn. Try to turn them both towards the floor. And just be patient. You might feel a whole lot. You might not feel much at all. Just take the shape, work on the alignment, feet straight, ankles hip distance apart. Breathing, rotating from the pelvis. And slowly come up and we switch legs. Left foot forward, right foot back, outer edges of the feet straight, ankles hip distance apart. Elbows by your side, open and close. Server arms. So that's one of the reasons why throughout some of these classes, I try to weave in the theme of get in the habit of doing these things all day long. On my YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, I post moves to do, just a move here and there, because an hour of exercise is not how the body thrives. It's a good thing to do, but you need to do more movements more often throughout the day. Let's walk our feet wide. Left foot out to the left a little, right foot out to the right. Left foot is still in front of right foot. Hands wide without lifting the ribs. Lift wide. Bring your hands down by your sides. Lift up. Bring your hands down. Pinky fingers together. They stay together. Lift up and lower down. All right, walk your feet in. So that's where alignment skills especially come in, because it's like you're doing mini exercises all day long. All right, I won't talk about that yet. You're on your balance beam here. Left foot forward, right foot back. And arms wide. Pull back. Release forward. Hands by your side. Pull back. Release forward. One more time. Pull back. Hug those hands in towards each other a little bit. Front ribs down. Head moves back. And release your arms. Walk your feet back out to hip distance apart. Left foot forward. Reach your right arm into the air and side bend over to the left. Yeah, turning your feet straight, ankles hip distance apart, pelvis in neutral, ribs relaxed down, ramping the head. It's like you're doing mini exercises all day long. It's brilliant. Thank you, Katie. And then bring your arm down, palms up, and rotate from the belly, because if something ever happens, you don't want to lose your health, and things happen. You have to take care of someone. You have to take care of yourself. You can't get an extra movement. How can you live in a way that movement is naturally part of your life in a way that supports regeneration at the cellular level? All right, unwind, rotate from the pelvis, pushing the hips back. Try to feel like both bones are pointing straight down to the floor. All right, and slowly come up. Step your feet wide behind your chair. Hold on to it. When you sit back, try not to let the knee go forward. Sit back, right knee bends, and then your hands are on your chair. Sit back, left knee bends. Over to the right, and over to the left. Come back to center. Wide squat, both hips sit back. How about one heel at a time? Heel rises, lower. Heel rises, lower. Heel rises, lower. Heel rises, lower. All right, from here, stand up. Your feet are straight. Turn your toes out a tiny little bit, a little bit. Squat down, press up. Turn your feet out a tiny little bit more. I think we'll work on this more next week. Squat down, press up. Turn your feet out a tiny little bit more. Squat down, press up, and a little bit more. Every angle changes the way you use your hips. Squat down and press up. Rotate your feet back to straight, heel toe your feet back into hip distance, and come to another double calf stretch. Put the balls of the feet up, the heels down on the floor, and push your hips back. Smooth inhales and exhales. Great time to practice neutral thigh bones, kneecap relax. And then slowly come up, and you can have a seat in your chair. You might want to block if crossing your ankle over your knee doesn't work. I'll do it that way this time. You can go back to your knee over your ankle, putting the edge of your foot up, thigh dropping open. Hold on to a chair. Oh, you can also do the ankle crossing variation if you don't have a prop, which is great too. Actually, I want to do that one more too. Sitting up tall. Bend your elbows, hug them in. Breathing. All right, give your arms a little bit of a moment. Switch sides, feet straight ankles hip distance apart, and then you cross an ankle over a knee or an ankle on whatever you have lifting, or your ankle over your ankle. And sit up tall in your pelvis, ribs relax down, bend the elbows, hug them in a little bit. Breathing. If you feel your shoulder blades come together, can you drop your ribs down a little more and let your shoulders come forward, even though you're hugging your elbows in? All right, come on up. You're going to hold on, and I don't think you necessarily have to turn sideways. It might be easier. You're going to hold on to your block in the widest width between your hands without using your fingers, and you're going to do it with your hands behind your back. So you're sitting up tall, ribs relax down, hold onto the block, and micro lift and lower. Head backs up. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Good. Now, if you're not around to your side, turn around to your side. Stretch that front leg back into a lunge, and then how about you do your hands interlace? So interlacing your hands behind your back, you have to stabilize your legs. Put your right pinky finger on the bottom, and same thing here. Lift and lower. Lift, hold. Breathing. Spread your thumbs away from each other a little bit. Can your ribs come down, and can you actually let your shoulders kind of drop forward so your shoulder blades get wide, and then slide your ears back over your shoulders? And then bring your hands down, step your back foot forward, spin around to the other side. Knee under the hip, interlace left pinky finger on the bottom. So it seems counterintuitive. If you're lifting and we tend to pull back here. Actually, I want you to let your shoulders roll forward and lift your arms. That will pull them back a little bit, and then you have more space to slide your ears back because your upper back will be wider than if you're pulling and squeezing your shoulders back. So let your shoulders roll forward as you lift your arms and slide your head back. Breathing. And then release your arms, slide that foot forward, spin back around to the front of the chair. Put a block or just do it on the floor, heel down, toes up, or put a block at any height. And straight leg, hinge forward from the pelvis. Breathing. And switch sides. And rotate from the pelvis forward. And come on up and bend that knee and walk your feet wide a little bit. Hinge forward from your pelvis and move your torso a little bit side to side. All right, bring your torso to center. Walk your feet in, maybe a little wider than hip distance. Hinge forward here, elbows, or come on down to your chest towards your knees. You can relax your head all the way down to the floor. Breathing. If you planted that seed at the start of class for yourself, remind yourself of what that seed was. If you didn't plant a seed for yourself. Why not? What do you need more of? Courage, to drink water, to be outside in the sunlight. It can be so simple. And we're not putting any pressure on ourselves to make it happen. We're simply just planting a seed. All right, slowly come up and sit all the way back in your chair. Let your gaze soften or your eyes gently close. Become very present with your body and with your breath. Stay present with your body, your breath. I talked a lot about regenerating cells and that you can't bank your health. And the body naturally breaks down if we don't take care of it. But the amazing thing is, and there's a lot of research that shows, that the muscle and tissues of an 18-year-old adapt in the same way as an 80-year-old. So that means you can change your body at any time in your life. Now, of course, after decades of perhaps not caring for it, it's going to be more challenging, but it doesn't mean it's not possible. And our body, there's enough research that shows that the human body is really so far meant to last 100 years pretty easily without any problems if we do the right things. Now, the big question is, how do we know what the right things are? And there's a lot of them. It's not just one right thing. But I have a lot of faith that what we've been practicing here is one of those steps. Please stay tuned in to your body, to your breath. When you plant seeds in the garden, you don't dig them up every day to see if they have sprouted yet. You simply water them and clear away the weeds. You know that the seeds will grow in time. Similarly, just do your daily practice and cultivate a kind heart. Abandon impatience and instead be content, creating the causes for goodness. The results will come when they are ready. Bringing your hands together at heart center. Thank you so much for regenerating your cells with me. In gratitude for this day, namaste. Watch how you get up.